Assalamu alaikum. Hi students, how are you? So today's lecture is very important because this lecture belongs to the application of IAS 2 International Accounting Standard 2. So here I will discuss some questions with you guys because these questions are extremely important as far as the examination point of view, and there are some very important concepts under this International Accounting Standard 2 related to inventories. So first of all, let's have a look on question number 6.1. This question belongs to the calculation of gross profit, cost of sale at closing inventory. Now let's have a look at the question that what are the information which is provided to you and what could be the possible requirement that can be asked in the examination. So like in this question, it says that the inventory value for the financial statements for global company for the year ended 30th June was based on inventory count on 7th July 2003. So we have got two important dates. One is 30th June and other one is 7th July. So let's enter the data and then we will solve the question. So first of all, we have inventories in this question. So the date will be 30th June 2000 X3. So because we have two dates in this question, one is 30th June 2000 X3 and other one is 7th of July 2000 X3. So it means that when you have two different dates, then obviously the opening inventories will belong to the date which is coming earlier than the 7th July. So we have 30th June, which is the opening date, and 7th July, which will be the closing date. So the inventories count at 30th June will be the opening inventories, and inventories count on 7th of July will be considered as closing inventory. So we have got the values. The question says that the inventory for the financial statement for the year ended 30th June was based on inventory count on 7th of July, which gave a total inventory count of this much. So this inventory count belongs to this date, 7th of July. So it means that the closing inventory is given in the question, which is $950,000. Furthermore, the question says that the purchases are given, which are 11,750. Furthermore, we are provided with the sales. It's 14,950. But the very important information is written that the markup on the cost is 15%. This is extremely important information. I will explain you that why I am saying this, that this information extremely important, because this information will guide us that how do we calculate the gross profit. I will explain it later on. Further, it says that goods returned by the supplier. So when supplier by global company to the supplier. Okay. So we are the global company and we are returning goods to the supplier. So it will be our purchases return. So I repeat this concept again, that when we are returning goods to the supplier, it means purchases return. So the requirement is you are required to find out the inventories at 30th June 2003. Yes. So they are asking us to calculate the inventory, opening inventory. So let's have a look at this question. These are the data which are provided to us, and this is what is required in the question. So how do we proceed? As we know that when we draw the performer of, actually you guys are not required to draw performer in the examination. You are just required to find out the right option. But this is what I am explaining each and everything to you. So you will read the performer message global company. Okay. So we are basically making the statement of profit or loss we will write here for the year ended 30th of June 2000x3. Okay, so let's have a look on the information given to us. We are provided with the sales, and it is how much? It is 14,950. But remember one thing, that these figures are based on the markup on the cost. So I will explain you later that why this information is extremely important. Because of this information, without this information, you cannot solve this question. So we will subtract of sales. As we know that we use opening inventories, then we add purchases, then we subtract purchases return, which are given the question. Then we subtract closing inventory, and finally we are left with the cost of sales. And here we can find our gross profit. So this is the pro forma which will be used for this question. Now you pay attention that in this question we have provided with the sales, we are required to find out the opening inventory, so I'll put question mark over here. Then the purchases are given, which is 11,750. Then we subtract the purchases return, which is 1,500, and then we consider the closing inventory, which is also given in the question, which is $950,000. Okay, so you can clearly observe that we cannot calculate opening inventory until unless we are provided with the cost of sale. And on the other hand, we cannot calculate the cost of sale because the opening inventories are not given. So at least we should be provided with the gross profit. And now this information related to markup is extremely important, because now we are using this information to calculate the gross profit in this question. Okay, just have a look on this question. How do we calculate the gross profit? So students, pay attention. We have sales, and we know the sales is the combination of cost of sales. Okay, I just write cost and gross profit. So gross profit. Okay. So when we say that 15% markup is on the cost, then the cost will be 100%. This is extremely important information, because in this question the markup is given. So markup means that you are adding this much profit on cost. So you are adding 15% on the cost, which is 100%. So your total sale will be 115%. So once you are done with this information, then you can easily find out the gross profit. I am repeating again, because the information says that the markup is given, and markup means that you are adding this much amount, this much percentage on the cost. So your cost will always be 100%, and your profit will be 15%. So your sales will be 115%. So how do you calculate the gross profit? Just pay attention. Is equal to, use this value, sales, divide this value by the percentage of the sales, which is 115%, and do multiply it with the gross profit percentage, which is 15%. So I repeat it again, but you can also reverse the video, and you can also again understand the concept. So how I'm calculating the gross profit? I am taking the value, which is 14,950. I will get it divided by the percentage of the sales, because I'm taking the value of the sales, and I will multiply it with the gross profit percentage. and that is how I will arrive at the gross profit. So once I find this gross profit, I will do the reverse order technique to find out the cost of sale and then opening inventory. So as we know, the cost of sale will be sales minus gross profit. And now you follow the reverse order technique, which is, how do you do that? Is equal to, you will take the cost and you will add the closing inventory, because during the normal calculation we subtract the closing inventory, and in this case we are going upward, we are following the reverse order technique, so we will reverse all the treatments. So we will add closing inventory, we will also add the purchases return, we will subtract the purchases, and that is how we arrive at opening inventory. So extremely important question, 952 750. So the right answer is A. The right answer is A. Extremely important. Now you can repeat it again and again and just have a look at how did we calculate this opening inventory. So this question is extremely important from examination point of view. Okay. This is 6.1 question. Then we move forward. We have 6.2. It is very interesting because this question says that which of the following cost may be included. So as we guys have already understood that when we go to the isplus.com and we go to the standards, and then we just open IS2 because we are following this IS2. So we have already gone through this concept that how do we calculate the cost of the inventory. So when we calculate the cost of the inventory, remember these variables that we consider three important variables. One is cost of purchase, another one is cost of conversion, and the last one is the other cost incurred in bringing the inventory to the present location and condition. So when we calculate cost of purchase, we also include the taxes, transport and handling cost, and we subtract the trade discount. And when we consider cost of conversion, we will add the labor, overheads, variable, fixed, everything. So just have a look on this question that it says that among these five possible options, which elements are added in the cost of the inventory. So we all know that we add carriage inward. Carriage inward, carriage inwards are always added into the purchases as we have gone through it in the IS2 because we include transport, handling, etc. Then carriage outward, no, it's a selling expense, and we have already gone through this concept that selling cost belongs to the factor which is not included in the cost of the inventory. So we will not consider it. Depreciation of factory plant, yes, because it is the manufacturing overheads. So we will add this. Finished goods storage cost, no, it is written in the IS2 that storage cost of the finished goods are not included in the cost. And factory supervisor wages, yes, because it's a labor. So 1, 3, 5. So your right answer will be C. So that is how you can be asked a simple question and you have to analyze this question in that way. Now we have 6.3. This question is extremely important from examination point of view because this question belongs to fundamental principle of IS2, which is lower of the cost and NRV. So let me explain you the fundamental principle of IS2. Fundamental principle of IAS2. So students, remember that the fundamental principle of IS2 states that inventories are always recorded in a statement of financial, in financial statements at lower of the cost and net realizable value. You always learn this concept. It means we have got cost, we have got NRV, and we always consider the lower one. So we will report the lower one in the financial statement. I will teach you how do we do that. But you must know how do we calculate cost. Number one, how do we calculate the cost? Or we can say that what factors are included in the cost of the inventories. So we have already gone through that under IAS 2, these factors are included in the cost of inventory, cost of purchase, cost of conversion, and other costs bringing to the present location. Okay. And we should know that how do we calculate, do we calculate the NRV, which is called the net realizable value. So the formula will be NRV is equal to expected selling price minus expected cost to complete minus expected cost to sell. This is the complete formula which is required to calculate the NRV. Okay, I'll give you some practical exposure and I will tell you that why do we do that. Let's suppose we have items in inventory A, B, C, D, and we have also got the units. Let's say 100 units, 200 units, 300 units, 400 units. And the question provides us cost of purchase. Then question also provides us cost of conversion. So we are required to find out the total cost. Okay. The question will also provide us the expected selling price, but we need to find out the expected cost to complete, expected cost to sell, and finally we will arrive at NREV. NRV stands for net realizable value. The replacement cost can also be given in the question, but always remember that this replacement cost is extremely irrelevant in this concept because IAS 2 does not speak about replacement cost. So let's suppose the cost of purchase is given to us, it's per unit cost. So I will mention here that this cost is basically per unit cost. Okay. So all the data is given with per unit cost or price in dollars. So let's suppose the cost of purchase is given 100, 120, 140, 160. The cost of conversion is given 60, 80, 100, and 120. So I will tell you one thing that columns which have green colors, these are the values which will be provided to you in the examination. So what you need to calculate the total cost. And how do you do that? You will add cost of purchase and cost of conversion. So this will be the total cost because we have gone through in IAS 2. Now again, the question will provide you the expected selling price. Let's suppose it can be sold in the market per unit $200, then $300, then $400, and then $500. So the note can be given in the question note that the expected cost to complete is 20% the expected selling price, and the expected cost to sell is also 20%. Okay, make it 25% of the expected selling price. Now you guys need to calculate the cost to complete and cost to sell, and then you will go calculate the NRV. So just pay attention. It is 20%, so you'll take the 20% of the selling price and just apply the formula to all the values, and then the cost to sell will be, you take the selling price and you take 25% of that expected selling price and just apply the formula to all the values. Now, how do you calculate NRV? You will take the expected selling price, you will subtract expected cost to sell, you subtract expected cost to complete, and that is how you arrive at NRV. So remember, replacement cost is totally irrelevant, whatever it will be. It is extremely irrelevant. You will not consider this column. I will repeat, you will not consider this column if this column is provided to you in the examination. Now, which value is most important for the reporting purpose, which you will report in the financial statement? It is the lower. And lower of between what? Total cost and NRV. So the formula will be, you will consider minimum NRV, comma, total cost. So you just have a look. When we consider item A, NRV is lower because NRV is 110, total cost is 160. So when we consider item B, again NRV is lower. When we consider item C, again NRV is lower. And when we consider item D, again NRV is lower. So we'll consider the lower value and finally we find out the total. So we multiply this per unit price, sorry, cost, with the units, and then we find all the values of the inventories which are required to be reported in the statement of financial position. So finally you will take the total of this value is equal to sum. Yes. So this is the total which will be reported in the statement of financial position. So I would advise you to repeat this video again and again. Just have a deep look on every concept, that how do we calculate these steps. Now there is a question that why do we do that? Why do we compare NRV with the cost? It is because of we are required to present the true and fair representation in the financial statements. So we cannot tell a lie in the financial statement to the stakeholder. So we are required to provide the reliable information. In order to make the information reliable, you need to follow the prudence. Prudence is one of the favorite principle of accounting. Prudence says that the application of a degree of caution for uncertain events. So there will be two applications. The one is that expected losses are always recorded in financial statements and assets should never be overstated. Liabilities should never be understated in financial statement. So we have followed the prudence concept. We report at the lower value because we are not going to overstate our assets. And we also expect recording the expected loss, because when we record the lower value, then we also report the expected loss. So this is very important concept. Students, I will ask you to repeat this question again and again. In the next video, I will solve many questions from the exam kit regarding this concept, lower of the cost and NRV, which will be very, very important for you guys. So just wait for the next video. Thank you very much.